While you're in Brussels this week, of course, you've also met with Council President-elect Charles Michel and Commission President-delegate Ursula von der Leyen. What issues did you bring up with them, and how do you see the future of Europe more generally?
Yes, it was a wonderful opportunity to talk to the people you know already quite well now in their new role, and congratulations to both of them in acceding to the heights of the European Union. I have deep trust in their capacities to develop our cooperation in the Union, and deep respect in also into the situation they are on right now entering, because right now the budget debate for the next MFF is going on. There is Brexit, which means there will be less money. There is still a considerable amount of work to be done when Brexit finally is going to happen, on how to shape the future relations between European Union and UK, because as UK itself has been saying, they're leaving the Union but not the Europe, and it's extremely important for us that we will be able to cooperate smoothly also in economy and considering the people who live in the Union and on the other side.
For Estonians, how concerned are you about Brexit?
First of all, we are sad that UK is leaving the Union. Let's look at the figures. Estonia has about 60,000 people working in Finland, about 6,000 in Norway, about 10,000 in UK. So you see, it's not a considerable problem or a problem of a big magnitude for us. Yet we have in our parliament approved the legislation, which means that the British people who have established themselves and their businesses in Estonia can remain there, that their driver's licenses will be accepted, etc. So we are all ready and prepared, but this has been a considerable amount of preparation, of course, which has gone into the process, like in every country. Nevertheless, we are quite sure that we will have in the future good relations which will run smoothly. How we will overcome the administrative difficulties remains to be seen yet, but no, there is no panic in Estonia about Brexit.
In your own country, of course, you've seen the rise of Eurosceptic movements. Where do you think this brand of Euroscepticism comes from?
Estonian people support the EU, and the support level is 80%. And even our most Eurosceptic party says, and has agreed in the coalition agreement, because they are in the government in Estonia, that Estonia is and will be the member of the European Union and also other multilateral bodies, obviously. So you cannot say that our Eurosceptics are anything more than critical about how the Union functions, not critical about Estonian membership in the Union. And of course, in this criticism of how the Union functions, I've also noticed that before they acceded to the government, they always voted against any EU-linked regulation in the parliament. Now they don't anymore. So inherently, even they are accepting that the Union is where Estonian people want to be, and which is beneficial to Estonian economy, to the free movement of people, goods and capital, of course, and also labour.
Are you sad that talks recently failed at the European Council with regards to the possible future accession of North Macedonia and Albania?
Yes, I was, because Estonia always supports enlargement of the European Union. And if countries, and these two countries in particular, have fulfilled the criteria which were prescribed for them in order to start the negotiations, we were not talking about the dates of accession. We were talking about starting the negotiations. Then, of course, all the difficult feelings of early 90s came back also in our country. It wasn't easy to accede to these negotiations for the Baltic states neither. We wanted to start all three together. Then Estonia was accepted, Latvia, Lithuania slightly later. Finally, we all joined at the same date. So it's not an easy way, and we feel for them. And I would also like to say a word about our eastern partners. Among them, we have Georgia, Ukraine, who also have decided, their people have decided in several elections now in both countries, that they support politicians who see the future of their countries closely linked to the European Union as well. I think we should also involve them in the discussions. What is their perspective for the future?
Just to pick up on your point about Ukraine and Georgia in that regard, Do you see a future where they could potentially become members of the European Union in the near future?
No, definitely not in the near future, but we are not talking about near future also for North Macedonia and Albania. We are talking about starting negotiations to join. I think we started 94 and acceded 2004 or something like this. So it's a long, long process. Of course, Ukraine and Georgia are not ready to start discussions. They have the free trade agreements with the European Union. European Union helps them also in state building. And if these processes, I admit they sometimes go forward, sometimes backwards as well. When these processes get to the level when we have to start asking the question, why not? I think then is the time to discuss what will be the conditions and what exactly is the final format. It can be full membership. I hope it could be full membership. But if other countries are not ready to offer that 10 years on, 20 years on, maybe there could be an intermediate kind of solution also for those countries.